Hello, friends. Today, we are going to look at another true story with you. Believers in black magic and witchcraft are frequently associated with uneducated individuals. However, over time, stories have emerged indicating that even highly educated people have the same level of faith in these things. This is a story from Tiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Kerala is one of India's states. Tiruvananthapuram is the capital city. Malayalam is the primary language here. Kerala is known for its well-educated people, rich culture, and delicious cuisine. A girl named Arya lived in a village. She was 29 years old, extremely attractive, well-educated, and taught French at the village school. Her family was also highly educated, wealthy, and reputable. Arya left home for school on March 27th, but did not return by the evening. She usually comes home right away after school, but it was already evening and she hadn't arrived yet. Arya's family became very worried. They were especially concerned because Arya was engaged and her wedding was scheduled for the next month. It was not a forced marriage. Arya had willingly agreed and was overjoyed, but she mysteriously vanished from the village that day. Then her family becomes extremely distressed. They call and visit all of her friends' homes, but no one knows anything about Arya. That night, they go to the police station and file a missing person report for Arya, after which the police file a missing complaint and trace Arya's phone number. They are astounded to discover her location. Her family is also surprised because Arya lives in Guwahati rather than the village. The city is famous for its ancient Hindu temples. Her family is now perplexed as to what pressing matter compelled Arya to travel to Guwahati so abruptly and without prior notice. The police investigate her phone's call history and discover that she had spoken to two people before leaving. These two people, Naveen Thomas and Devi Thomas, have been married for 11 years and live a blissful life. Devi's father was a well-known and highly respected photographer in Kerala. Naveen and Devi were doctors who also taught part-time at a school. Devi taught German at the same school where Arya studied. Naveen knew Devi and Arya well because they were friends. The call details also revealed that Arya spoke to someone, but not Naveen. The police discovered that all three IP addresses were located in Guwahati. The family was now wondering what urgent matter had prompted these three to leave for Guwahati without informing anyone. Then their family said, "No problem. It must be some schoolwork or something else they didn't have time to tell us about." That day also passed, but Arya's phone remained turned off, and there was no news about her. Meanwhile, in Guwahati, a plane landed, and three people stepped out: Arya, Devi, and Naveen. These three visited a hotel, booked a room, and spent the day exploring Guwahati. After sightseeing, they returned to their hotel, ate dinner, and went to bed. On the 28th, they left Guwahati for Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is another Indian state. They arrived in Arunachal Pradesh, checked into Hotel Blue Pine, and went to their room. The three had reserved a single room and were staying together. They arrived at the hotel on March 28th and started exploring Arunachal Pradesh in the evening. After returning, they ate dinner and went to bed. On March 29th, they awoke, ate breakfast, and went sightseeing again, returning in the evening for dinner and rest. On March 30th, they ate breakfast and went sightseeing again. On March 31st, they interacted normally with the hotel staff, joked with them, and returned to the hotel to rest after exploring the area. These three had been roaming for 4 days. Then comes April 1st. On April 1st, the three of them did not go anywhere. They remained in their room, having already paid their entire hotel bill in advance. They didn't leave the room. The hotel staff assumed they were exhausted from roaming around and that they were resting today, so they paid little attention. Now it's April 2nd, and they still haven't left the room. The hotel staff became concerned when a cleaning staff member knocked on their room's door, but no one answered. He stood there for a long time, but there was no sound from inside, and no one opened the door. Hotel staff informed the manager that 3 people had not left the room since yesterday, and we had not seen them. We knocked on their door, but no one answered or made any noise. If we call out to them, there is no response from within. Something is clearly wrong. They attempted to call the room, but no one answered. They sent another hotel employee to ring the doorbell, but no one came out. It had been a long time, but there was no response. They weren't answering the phone or speaking. The hotel staff felt compelled to take action because something was clearly wrong inside. Now, the The hotel manager believed they needed to open the door. Then he opened the door to the room with the master key, and when they looked inside, they discovered Naveen's body on the bed and Devi's body on the floor. There was blood everywhere. The hotel staff reported that they had checked into this room with 3 people but only found 2 bodies. They started wondering where the third person, the girl, was. They suspected she had killed the other 2 and fled. They suddenly noticed the bathroom. There was a lot of blood, too. When the hotel staff checked the bathroom, they were shocked to discover Arya's body inside. They quickly contacted the police. When the police arrived at the hotel, they discovered 3 people had died. The hotel staff had no idea how anyone from outside could have entered. They have the same cuts on their wrists. After closely inspecting the room, they determined that an outsider had not come to kill them. Everything was in its place. Nothing appeared to be disturbed. The police then conducted a thorough investigation of the room, eventually focusing on a plate. On that plate, there was a clump of hair and some black bracelets. The police questioned the placement of such items. They continued their search and discovered one on the bedside table. The paper included a note that read, "We have lived our lives well. Now we're leaving." When the police read it, they realized it was suicide rather than murder. The police then retrieved the information about these 3 individuals from the hotel, and all of it was accurate. They'd come from Kerala. The strangest thing was that Devi's father had a phone number at the bottom of the suicide note. When the police called that number and asked if he was Devi's father and knew Naveen, her father answered, "Yes, I am Devi's father. Why are you asking?" The police then informed him that Devi, Naveen, and another girl named Arya had arrived at a hotel. Devi's father confirmed that he knew Arya, who was his close friend. The police then informed him that they had found all 3 dead bodies in the hotel. The police then notified Arya's family about the discovery of the 3 bodies in the hotel. The entire family quickly set out for Arunachal Pradesh. The police then collected the bodies and took them to a post-mortem facility. They showed the family members the note they found, and Devi's father recognized the handwriting as Naveen's. The police had questions. Why did they write a note before doing this? Why did they travel all the way from Kerala to Arunachal Pradesh? Why did they select a hotel for this act? Many of these questions were on their minds. They questioned the family and also contacted Devi's friends for information. Meanwhile, Devi's father informed the police that his son-in-law and daughter had been keeping to themselves for quite some time. They were Ayurvedic doctors who also taught at a school, but they rarely interacted with others and were always alone. Their relationship was very good. They loved each other deeply and never fought. Arya and I were also very close friends. The police then examined the internet histories on all 3 of their mobile phones. When they reviewed the history, they were taken aback by the unusual searches they had encountered. They'd been looking for these things for the past month or 2. Some of the most popular searches were about life after death, whether aliens exist, and the journey of the universe. The police were now convinced that the 3 had killed themselves. When the police spoke with people who knew them, they confirmed that the 3 had been discussing they didn't eat with anyone else or talk much. Instead, they talked about black magic among themselves. Now, it became clear that they had committed suicide. According to Arunachal Pradesh police, the 3 had come here to spend their final days of happiness before dying. However, the question remains in everyone's minds. If they intended to end their lives, why did they travel so far and specifically to Arunachal Pradesh? What prompted such a long journey? Future revelations may uncover numerous secrets, but how can an individual reach such extremes as suicide? Thus, today's story explores how such educated individuals would do something they never imagined. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope you enjoyed it and found the content useful.